Hey everyone, it's Movie Lover Warren 20 here, and I'm here with a brand new movie review, and this time it's for a slasher film. Well, not a first film, a sequel film. So, because I actually reviewed the first film of this, part of my Halloween horror movie reviews last year, and before I tell you all what it is, I mean, that movie I reviewed in Halloween horror movie reviews last year was actually was Hatchet, but I'm not reviewing the first film, guys, because I already reviewed it. But I'm going to refill what I thought about the first film. I actually really liked the first. I really liked the first film. I thought it was a good throwback to the slasher genre, and definitely had a lot of horror icons in it. It was definitely some good comedy in there, and it had some great kills. It was definitely better gore than Craptivity. Definitely way better than that piece of crap. Except, and basically introduced a new horror icon, Victor Crowley. Unfortunately, it didn't get a wide release in theaters because the MPAA are full of idiots. Like, this movie isn't even that graphic. Like, it should have gotten a wide release. It's not even that gory as people claim it is. But that controversy, like, when the theaters did screen it, they only screened the censored version, and yeah, which unfortunately, made a director I agree very upset because the unrated version is the true cut of the movie. So if you are planning to watch this movie, please watch the unrated version. That one is the best. But now that I've reviewed the first movie, I'm going to be reviewing its first sequel, Adam Green's Hatchet 2. So guys, when I was collecting the Hatchet films, Hatchet 2 was so impossible to find like anywhere. I was able to find Hatchet 1, Hatchet 3, Victor Crowley easy at this record store, but I had to go to this old antique store just to get this. So as soon as I saw it, I laid my eyes on it, grabbed it, purchased it, and then went home. And I finally completed my Hatchet collection. And I rewatched all the films, this was all back in 2019, guys. I actually first saw all the original trilogy back when I was in high school, and rewatching them during quarantine. Actually pretty good. So, what is this movie about? Well, I'm going to be spoiling this, guys. This picks up right where the first one ended. Mary Beth, who is actually, believe it or not, guys, is now played by Danielle Harris from the Halloween series, aka Halloween 4, 5, and 6, and also played Danny Brackett in the Rob Zombie Halloween movies. Escapes the clutches of the deformed, swamp-dwelling iconic killer Victor Crowley, who's still played by Kane Hodder, who also plays Jason Voorhees in a few Friday the 13th films, guys. After learning the truth about her family's connection to the hatchet-wielding madman, Mary Beth returns to the Louisiana swamps along with an army of hunters to recover the bodies of her family and exact the bloodiest revenge against the Bayou Butcher. So, a lot of people say they don't like this one as much as the first one, but for me, I actually like this one more than the first one. It's, believe it or not, guys, it's way more gory, it's way more graphic. Like, they really ramp up the gore in this movie, and the first one was like, body count was basically about 8 people Victor Crowley killed, and this one, it's like about 18 or something. It's around near 20 levels, and they really ramp up the gore in this movie. They ramp up all the kills. Like, they actually have some pretty graphic kills, but before I explain the good qualities, there was once again controversy in this movie. Whenever Adam Green tried to submit this movie to MPAA, they kept bringing it back in 1917, and he didn't want to edit the movie because he felt editing the movie would only ruin the fun of the film, which I agree with. And so he decided to submit it to AMC theaters and release the movie unrated. It only played in America because in my area, guys, we're not allowed unrated movies, which sucks. So yeah, this movie AMC allowed him to release the movie in theaters unrated, and it was originally going to be the first wide release to be given unrated since Dawn of the Dead in 1978. But eventually, the good luck didn't last long because after one weekend, AMC decided to betray Adam Green and pull it from theaters. Like, I get the kills are much gorier, but it's not that grisly to be removed from theaters. I mean, there's much more grisly stuff out there, like a Serbian film or the Human Centipede or Cannibal Holocaust. Like those are far more gruesome than this. I mean, and it's also kind of hypocritical of AMC. I mean, they allow the Saw movies to go to theaters, but they even allowed the Hostel movies to go to theaters, and they even allowed the Crank movies to get wide releases, but not this. Screw AMC. But I'm gonna explain. There's some like good stuff this film has. Well, the first half of the film kind of adds much more backstory to the backstory of Victor Crowley, and not only deepens the impact of the film, but it enhances the first chapter as we realize that Victor's story is even more gruesome and terrifying than the audience could ever imagine. And there's so many new horror icons in this movie. Too, like some do return from the first film, and some are new faces. Like Mary Beth, who was played by Tamara Feldman in the first film, is now played by Danielle Harris, who is from the Rob Zombie Halloween remakes, and in Halloween 4, 5, and 6. And Tom Holland, no, not the one you're thinking I'm talking about, a different one, the one who directed Child's Play and Fright Night back in the 80s, also plays in this film as our dad's best friend Bob, and R.Hay Milhaloff, who is Leatherface in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. And also returning are Tony Todd, also who returns to the movie as Tony Todd from Candyman, the Candyman series. Yeah, then again, this series has a lot of horror icons, so keep that in mind. And of course, there's also A.J. Bowen, who's from Signal and House of the Devil. And also, Tony Todd's character actually was in the first one, except he was only like one scene, so he actually gets a much larger role this go around. And also, Kane Hodder replaces his role as the powerful Victor Crowley. And like I said for the gore, this movie blows the first one out of the water. There's some interesting murders portrayed as Crowley hacks through the mighty hunters, and especially like there's this like chainsaw kill where he just saws through two of the hunters, and you actually see the whole thing. It's not like just quick. You see all the gore spraying everywhere. It's awesome. Anyone for the horror genre, this is proof. Like seriously, I think it's a worthy follow to the original film, despite what most people say about it, especially Cody Leach says about it. The scene laughs to gore quotants, and there's some definitely historical moments to offset the grisly gore, and I mean, the bad parts of that, well, it is like cliched and completely unoriginal, but it's not really supposed to be. Like I said, there's tons of gore and really high body count, and the killings are creative and utterly insane with rivers of spurting blood, and the characters are a little paper thin, but the pace is fast, and the gore is truly gross for a slasher movie. And probably, I think of all the Hatchet endings, this one is easily the best. I'm not gonna spoil much if you haven't seen the movie yet, but if you did like the first film, you are definitely gonna like this hugely enjoyable sequel. I think it's definitely the best of the Hatchet sequels, and to me the only really worthy Hatchet sequel. But 3 is like pretty good too, but not as good as 1 and 2 really. And Victor Crowley, the 2017 fourth movie, just sucks. Here's how I would rank Hatchet 2. I am going to give Hatchet 2 an 8 out of 10. Well, that's already covered 2 movies. Now to get on to 3 and 4. But it was good to now I finally got the time to review both the first sequel to Hatchet, now that I've taken care of these 2. So if you are a fan of gore, I do recommend this series. Fan of gory slasher, fan of gory slasher it is. But anyway, that'll be it for this video. Thank you all for watching. And if you like this and want to see more, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Movie Lover 120.